Skybridge Capital unveiling a new real estate investment trust, a REIT designed to take advantage of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017. Skybridge is looking to raise $3 billion. Join us now, Anthony Scaramucci, founder of Skybridge Capital, and EJF Capital COO Neal Wilson, who will be running the fund. I don't think everyone knows about all the aspects of the Tax Reform Act, especially this one for opportunity zones. So can you start right at the beginning on how this works for people that may have huge capital gains and would like to take advantage of that and also maybe help out these zones?
Thanks, Joe. Those are the high concept, and the president will be speaking about this tomorrow. He has an event up in Baltimore talking about this, but a big component of the tax code, there's about 8,700 areas as designated by the 2010 census that are opportunity zones. If you have a high-valued stock with low basis, you can sell that and transfer it into our fund, and you get a 15% reduction on your capital gains that you don't have to pay for 10 years. And then the appreciation over that 10-year period of time in our fund comes to you tax-free. So this is an extraordinary...
Do I have to keep the money in for 10 years?
You have to keep the money in for 10 years. But you have this huge opportunity. I'll let Neal talk about the development sites and the things that we're already working on. We probably have $2 billion worth of deals already in the pipeline. And we decided to do it in a real estate investment trust. Some of our competitors are doing it in special limited projects, if you will. So they'll raise $500 million for a project. But we want to spread the money around. And if you remember, we're a mass affluent shop. And so we have a $100,000 minimum on our fund.
So it's not just Bezos with all his Amazon.
Yeah, but those are big targets for us. You know, we've had two people sitting in San Francisco going throughout Silicon Valley saying, if you've got a low basis situation, high valued stock, chip off a piece of that, put it in our opportunity zone. And
is there anybody else? There's a number of big real estate companies that are looking at this kind of thing. But when I say they're real estate companies, they're typically not open to the rest of the public. We should also say, by the way, the Kushner family just spent a lot of money in a couple of different places doing this.
Yeah, they're doing 3 projects right now.
Is there anybody, though, that's doing it and effectively allowing the public, if you will, in this way?
So I think we're the first mover, Neal. What do you on that? Right?
Most of the projects today have been single project assets limited to very high net worth, which kind of defeats the underlying premise behind the legislation. The idea was to really allow people to use their capital gains to both short-term, as Anthony mentioned, like Netflix stock, or you have property that's got low basis.
Some of this, by the way, came from Sean Parker, right? Wasn't he?
Yes,
he was
one
of the early movers on the idea behind this.
Sort of
someone who had a huge amount of capital gains and wanted to figure out a way to put it to work.
Yep, it's sort of a Sean Parker, a little bit of Jack Kemp from the old days, and a little bit of Cory Booker. And so this is really a bipartisan idea. When Stephen Mnuchin and the team at Treasury saw this thing, they thought it was a phenomenal idea. You could unleash trillions of dollars of capital into areas of the country that need revitalization, Andrew, and so we're super excited about it.
All right. I don't know how much time we have, but finish up on this, and then we'll get some of the stuff I know.
You like talking politics.
I just want to know what's going to make this a good investment, because there's a lot of bad areas that may need investment, but that's not necessarily going to be a good investment.
No, but that's kind of the misconception, right? In the United States, we have some real issues in terms of mismatched supply-demand and workforce housing, for example, right? So we think that in a number of areas like Oakland, Washington, D.C., where EJF Capital is based, I mean, we're a regulatory event-driven shop down in Washington, D.C., and look, workforce housing, there were 18 million jobs created since the great financial crisis. 14 million households were formed. The problem is that there's only been 10 million units of housing that have been brought online. So there's a huge disconnect, and most of that 10 million has been skewed towards luxury housing. And so instead of building projects in Bethesda, Maryland, or Tysons Corner, Virginia, we see the real opportunity to invest and make double-digit type IRRs over a 10-year period in areas like Capitol Hill, Ward 8 in Washington, D.C.
What's the fee structure on top of this?
Well, you can have a load. You can also you can have a load or not have a load.
It's 175 and 15 over a 5% hurdle.
5% hard hurdle.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap. Good for your money.
Yeah, good for you.
Andrew, I'm going to be looking through your portfolio later to see what low value, high basis stocks you have, Andrew.
Great for virtue signalers. I mean, and you might make some money, or you can just give that away if you make any, and just purely.
Do any of your viewers know what virtue signaling is?
Well, yes, if they watch your
they certainly do.
every
Joe
day.
uses that phrase on a daily basis.
I'm making a joke. Joe, I watched the show.
I know because I see it every
yes,
day.
you're giving a tutorial. You're giving a tutorial on virtue signaling every day.
Right, we saw it yesterday with John.
But if I may, I mean, there's the other aspect. Is really.
Right? You see that? Yeah, the billionaire helping us with the income inequality again. So you didn't really get along with John Kelly, did you?
Well, I mean, that's unfair to say. I had a 3-minute conversation with him. I've never met the guy. I think I met him once.
But in February, you called for him to leave, right? More or less.
Well, in February, I had no problem with him firing me. I was not in love with the way he fired me. I don't think you fire people like that. Bob's on Wall Street. You don't want me to stay, say, hey, let's create a glide path to get you out of here without an embarrassment. I gave a lot of time and a lot of energy to the campaign, countless hours of media advocacy. I did make a mistake. It was a fireable offense, which I apologize for. But you don't have to fire me like that. I was totally cool with the firing. Once he blocked me from getting into the White House when 3 or 4 staffers wanted my help on something, then I thought, okay, this guy's now going into the zone where he doesn't really understand civilian teamwork, if you will. And so then I said, okay, there's something wrong here, and he doesn't have the right personality to handle the president or the right personality to handle civilian culture. And let me tell you something, Joe, I'm a super flawed guy. I mean, I got a whole phone book of flaws, but I'm pretty good at reading a situation and evaluating talent. That's why I've been able to build 2 reasonably successful companies.
Who do you think would be... and will they take the job of chief?
Well, Andrew's
right
resume.
Here.
I know
right
Andrew.
Here. You know the vote right here. He's next to you.
How happy would Andrew
be? This guy
if you
right here.
How happy would Andrew be, Joe, if you took that job?
He's been trying out for years.
Right? Look at Greifeld laughing at this whole situation.
I think Joe would be great.
If you took that job, Andrew would be dancing in Times Square.
No, I know. That's why.
With like Minnie Mouse and Mickey out here. I mean,
can you see me leaving our viewers to not being here with him here on a business
forbid.
show?
You're like the Mount Rushmore of Squawk Box.
Yeah, that's not going to.
I see your face.
I will never leave on a flat stretcher is how I leave here.
On a gurney.
Just so you know.
As they bring you to the White House.
Who do you think it would be?
Well, I mean, my guess is that he'll probably hire somebody internally, somebody that's already in the government, that knows a lot of the people.
Like Joe.
And somebody that has a really good understanding of his personality. But here's the thing, okay? There's a misnomer about the president. People think, oh, yeah, he wants flatterers and sycophants around him. That is totally not true. He wants strong people that do recognize that he's the boss. I mean, one of the problems is when you're hiring people, and people in corporate America know this, you never hire a guy that thinks that he has a better reputation than you. Because the minute you hire that guy will cut and run at you in the worst possible moment. And so you got to hire people who actually like you, they want your agenda, and they also know how to talk to you in a way where you're cross-roughing the person and telling them that you disagree with them, but you're doing it in a respectful way.
You got any name? I mean, seriously, who do you think?
If you start naming the names, I'll tell you what I think the qualifications are.
Meadows? I mean, who's in the running?
Well, I think Meadows is incredibly talented.
How about Chris?
Well, Chris is a personal friend. I think he would do a great job. But I think Meadows will probably stay in the Congress because he's been so valuable to the president inside the Congress, okay? And he's been super loyal to the president. He gets what the president's trying to do as it relates to the swamp. And I know the president. I know the president really likes him. Who's that?
President Randy Levine, supposedly.
Yeah.
Really?
Randy's a great guy. Randy and the president. Randy and the president are very close. Leaving the Yankees, that's a big opportunity.
He worked for Steinbrenner for a long time.
But let me tell you something. Randy is a guy that can handle the president in a way that the president would like. He's got that New York style, direct but polite, and let's get the job.
Why do you think he didn't have this all lined up? Because he said he had something.
All right, we got 15 hard. We got to go. I know.
I don't.
You don't have time for everything you want to say about Trump. We got to wait till the next
Andrew, I'm looking through your portfolio on the commercial break. I'm going to try to find something.
Anthony, thank you. Skybridge Capital founder and Neal Wilson.